Why Quentin Tarantino will never be Dostoyevsky, no matter how many people he shoots. Now, you may not know this, but comparing Tarantino to Dostoyevsky is like comparing Sailor Moon to Shakespeare. But Tarantino is the dick who compared his movies to novels, so by all means. We've reached a point in culture where people say things so stupid, such as Tarantino is our modern Dostoevsky. Let's start with the tone. Tarantino gives us cool, stylized, ultra-violent. Every scene is a pop culture cocktail with a twist of arterial spray. Dostoevsky, on the other hand, gives us damp basements and men muttering about the soul. Tarantino's characters wear sunglasses at night. Dostoevsky's characters stare out windows during snowstorms, wondering if God has abandoned them or if they simply forgot how to love. In Pulp Fiction, a man gets shot in the face by accident and it's funny. In Crime and Punishment, a man kills a pawnbroker and then spends 500 pages sweating, hallucinating, and arguing with metaphysical dread. One gives you adrenaline, the other gives you... That's being too nice to Tarantino. He doesn't even give me adrenaline anymore. Now, Tarantino writes dialogue that makes you wish you could talk like, not me, but makes idiots wish they could talk like that in a diner. But Dostoevsky writes dialogue that makes you question whether you've ever had a real thought in your life. Dostoevsky's characters don't banter, they confess. They fall apart. They monologue into the abyss. In a Tarantino film, a conversation might end with a shootout. In Dostoevsky, it ends with someone weeping and converting to a new religion out of sheer existential exhaustion. In Tarantino's world, morality is flexible. Heroes and villains blur. Everyone's got a gun, a grudge, and a great soundtrack. In Dostoevsky, morality is an anvil. It crushes people slowly over decades. Raskolnikov in Crime and Punishment doesn't get away with it. He doesn't ride off into the sunset. He suffers. He rots from the inside. He goes to Siberia emotionally as well as literally. Tarantino is about style, and Dostoevsky is about many things, including soul rot and redemption. In terms of character, Tarantino gives us archetypes with swagger. The hitman philosopher, the vengeful bride, the smooth-talking criminal who definitely listens to vinyl. Everyone has a rhythm, a costume, and a brand. Dostoevsky gives us people who haven't slept in weeks, women who see angels in their dreams. These characters do not walk into the room with theme music. They shuffle in, barely, and collapse into a chair. Now the young idiots today say, but Tarantino's characters are cool. But coolness by nature is a mask. Dostoevsky doesn't do masks. He peels the skin back and pokes the guilt underneath. In Tarantino, a man can shoot someone in the face and keep driving. In Dostoevsky, a man steals a watch and then writes a 30-page confession about whether the act was symbolic of original sin or just a deep desire to be seen. Another difference is how they deal with suffering. Tarantino's characters suffer cinematically, even if it was a novel, it's still cinematic. A gunshot, a betrayal, a spur-of-the-moment chainsaw incident. It's supposedly exciting, visual, and paced like a thriller. In Dostoevsky, suffering is in the air. It's not in the plot. It's in the setting. People suffer over thoughts, over dreams, over whether they're capable of love, or just mimicking the idea of it. When a Tarantino character dies, it's usually mid-cool line with blood everywhere and the camera spinning. When a Dostoevsky character dies, it's because they've been spiritually decomposing for their whole lives and finally gave in to the idea that their existence was a prolonged act of moral erosion. Thematically, Tarantino is obsessed with vengeance, pop culture, and the aesthetics of violence. These are real, visceral, and fun. But Dostoevsky writes about things like God, free will, redemption, doubt, the unbearable weight of being known. You know, lighthearted stuff. In the Brothers Karamazov, there's an entire subplot where two siblings debate whether a good God can exist in a world where a child suffers. In Django Unchained, a guy shoots a plantation owner and rides off to a James Brown song. Both cathartic, only one makes you contemplate theology for years later. Let's not forget audience response. People leave a Tarantino movie energized and hyped. They start walking differently. They think they're Jules now, or Vincent. But after finishing Dostoevsky, you lie down for 3 hours and question your childhood. Tarantino makes you want to act out. Dostoevsky makes you want to write a letter of apology to someone you haven't spoken to since college. Tarantino wants to make you feel something now. Dostoevsky wants to make you feel something forever, whether you want to or not. Tarantino does what all bad artists do. He helps you escape reality. Whereas Dostoevsky does what all real artists do. He traps you in a cramped room with your own conscience and then locks the door on you. Tarantino movies have become so predictably structured, it's like paint by numbers. Whereas Dostoevsky, there isn't even a plot. His stories aren't structured, they fester. You don't know when the breakdown will come, you just know that it's inevitable. Tarantino characters rarely change. They exist as full-formed cool machines. They just do their thing. Maybe they die, maybe they don't, but they're rarely transformed. Dostoevsky's characters undergo psychological exorcisms. They enter the story broken and exit broken, but in a more nuanced, spiritually ambiguous way. Let's simplify it. Tarantino, quote, "Say what again? I dare you." Dostoevsky would say, "What is language if not a tool for deceiving the self?" Tarantino says, "I'm gonna get medieval on his ass." Dostoevsky says, "There are times when man loves suffering. The mind is a dark hallway with no exit." And finally, and that thing that I'm most happy about, is the legacy. In 200 years, people will still be reading The Idiot. College students will be silently sobbing through Notes from Underground in cafes. Will they be watching Death Proof? Maybe, but it will probably be playing in a themed bar next to a framed photo of Samuel L. Jackson eating a burger, a big Kahuna burger. Because Tarantino captures the moment, Dostoevsky captures the condition. Tarantino teaches you how to look cool under pressure. Dostoevsky teaches you how to look into the pressure. So I encourage all young people and all stupid people to burn, destroy their Tarantino movies, never watch them again, boycott, stay away from him, and read Dostoevsky, because that's what really lasts, and the world is in current need of that. They're not in current need of Quentin Tarantino. The world is really sick of that shit.